Voice sound okay. Get some water and I think that's after lunch. So hope to get you guys a bit excited. My name is Trung. Then very happy to be back to CTJS 2024. I think I was there last year talking about accessibility, and it was great to see so many of you. I think the 3 guys coming from Thailand still on the front row. So I would like to start by asking, like, when you are using any website, any application, do you ever seen a nice animation or like transition that kind of you feel that it makes the experience just a lot better? Not sure about you, but personally, I feel yes, very strong personal preference on that. And with view transition thing, it's going to be a bit easier when we try to implement the same thing on website. Hello. And before we get into the website stuff, let's talk about how do you do slides. Yeah, I know it's weird, but I personally trying a few tools. There's slide.com, there's Google Doc, and eventually, after so many tries, I still go back to PowerPoint. People were still like, yeah, why? Doesn't make sense. But in PowerPoint, there's something it's called morph, which is just, if you can use it, it just makes your the slide look so different. And in Keynote, it kind of has the same thing. It's like magic move. You ever heard about it? But the idea of morph or magic move is basically, let's say you have a slide, and on the next slide, you wanted to move this circle to the right. Is this normal, right? It's just flipping. It changes the view. But with morph, again, you have a circle on the left, and when you move to the next slide, the same circle is kind of moving. And if you kind of guess around this principle of building slide, then it is going to make things so different. You cannot just change the position. You can change the size and the color. For example, this, look closely into the slide. And you can also move things into your slide. Or at the same time, you can bring things outside the slide. Yeah. Bring the object outside. So yeah, I mean, it's just some box and circle. Doesn't make sense. But in reality, right, if you kind of look into, like, maybe you have a chart, and you wanted to show the data over time, easy. You go to the next slide, watch. I think it's a lot more intuitive than you just showing that's a new graph and there's a bar is higher, comparing to you showing that there is a bar is growing higher. So really, that's the point I'm trying to make. And that's, under the hood, the program PowerPoint is just trying to do this transformation. Yeah. That's it, simple enough. And it's not about the slide and or like how to make a slide. Right? It's like, yeah, of course, you can make a nice slide, but what's next? Personally, I just never think that in the web you can do something similar like PowerPoint. It's just not exactly the same. All of the capability you have was somehow you add in transition and animation. It looks cool and all. Yeah, but it's just not the same. When you change like move from one page to another, it's just not the same. You don't have this same capability to say I have one object in the previous page, and in the next one I wanted to move it. So, why it looks so different?
It's okay.
Okay, so cannot show it, but there is a gray box. It's the listing and the detail. On my screen, I can see it, but on the side, it just doesn't work. But okay, I built the same thing on PowerPoint. Okay, so there's a few photos. Think about it, there's a playlist, and it's literally built with PowerPoint. And when you, let's say, click into one, so just click into one. Just click one. So it's notice the URL is like playlist, and I click one. See how the cover photo is growing, right? And at the moment in the web, like literally, there's not an easy way to achieve the same thing. And with view transition, maybe we can do something interesting. So I just show you a live demo. That's how it looks like. See, that's by the way, that's the app I built. Clone of Spotify. I click inside. Wow, so nice, awesome. I go out. I click into another one. Wow, so nice. Yeah, see. cannot brag enough. So yeah, so I think the point after this talk is I want you to equip with an API where making this kind of animation easier, technically to say. So before I got started, my name is Trung and I'm the Google developer expert in Angular. Even though all of the demo later on will be in React. I run Angular Vietnam, I'm gonna run Angular Singapore, I build a few open source projects, see Jira Clone, Spotify. And currently I work at Senda. We build a loyalty platform for enterprise worldwide. Some of the people you might see in here at the back, at the fourth row. And welcome to Singapore. Can I ask anyone traveling from outside of Singapore? Wow, awesome, that's woohoo, a lot. Thanks for coming. I'm not a local, but I've been here for like 10 years. So hopefully considering local. So yeah, let's get into start. View transition. It basically, provide a mechanism for easily creating animated transition between web view. View is important. View is like really change the URL, page to page. Think about it this way. And when talking about view transition, there's two things we talk about. There's the same page. Think about React, Angular, or just a normal page which you have altering the DOM. Or a cross page, which is like MPA, like multi-page app, traditional server-side rendering. Could be Ruby on Rails, .NET framework, or could be like static site generator like Gatsby. So there's two distinctions between them. So we talk to same page first. And the whole idea is just around one single line of JavaScript code. So usually, you have a click event, you wanted to add a class into a certain thing. You just do it. So now, instead of just do it, you are gonna call this method, and then you're gonna do it. So it's like you tell the browser that I'm gonna change the DOM before you actually do it. And then it is kind of taking a snapshot, not exactly a screenshot, not a photo, but it's like all of the node, all of the DOM, whatever. I mean, I didn't look into it deep enough, but it's kind of comparing between the before and the after. So you look into it quick later. But yeah, talk is cheap, so let's see some code. There's two circle and square. Yeah, very abstract today. So in this example, there's one button and there's one circle. As you can see, div button, easy. I click, I add a new class. This class, what it does is basically translate the thing to the right and scale it. At the same time, change the background color. And as you can see, nothing. Right? Doesn't change anything at all. And if I enable this block of code, you see it? Okay, good. I comment the above one. Okay, it should refresh. So now when I click, it's a bit smoother. Do you see it? Do you feel it? Yes, awesome. So it's not just jumping, it kind of cross-fade to the next step. So that's the first one. Nothing mind-blowing, I know, but it's a good start. So now is the box. Box is a bit interesting. Box is like, I don't set the style of the box to move. I set the style of the parent, which is body in this use case. And as you can see, body is in type of display grid. And when I call this set random alignment, it just basically set two things, align content and justify content, which is not animatable at the moment. Technically, no. So you can see it's jumping, whatever, it's changing. But if you start to put this thing in, and here I do a bit of shape check, just say, if you have start view transition, then you do it below. If it's not, then you just call the function and it doesn't do anything. So now when I click into the thing, I think now it's easier to see. It's kind of crossfade easier. You can see it. And that's it. That's all of my talk. Thank you for coming. Of course not. Let me just represent the slide again. It's not too short. I prepared for this for long. But you remember the PowerPoint thing just now, right? You have a same object in two different states. And that's important. It's what you want, actually. Like, So you can give it a name. Like just here is a view transition name. And the browser is gonna look into two different states again, but it's gonna see, oh, now there's a circle. So I know that the circle is moving from left to right, so it's just gonna do it for me. I don't really tell anything at all. I just give it a name, they're gonna do it for me. So sound very philosophical. Let's just look into the code. And actually the next slide is about, yeah, okay, let me just show the slide because the animation is nice anyway. See, so nice. So now we are going to the next one. Continue the previous demo. Nothing changed. Now in the circle, you just say view transition name. Okay, typing line is not a good experience. Name, circle. Doesn't matter, it just has a name. Except I click. You see it changing? Right. It's not just crossfade anymore. Is it not too obvious? Let's again. So it's changing from the green color to the red color. Okay, maybe it's not obvious. Let's just try something else. So now I have the tool right here. You see show animation. In that tool, you can say, I want it to be very slow. Very slow. So, oof. Yeah, that's how you debug things, right? So yeah, I hope it's clearer now. So it just, you give it a name, then browser is gonna figure it out. So, look into the box. So here you see there's a box class, right? I just uncomment it. Should save, I believe. Is it save? Oof, yeah, now it's moving. I just give it a name and it's moving, right? So I don't really tell that I want to move it from this center to the top right corner. It just moved. I didn't do anything. I just give it a name, literally. Disclaimer. And I never know like how exactly detail at the end. But it basically all the one that we just talked is surrounding the single API called document.startViewTransition. And when you call this, it's like browser is start capturing the old state. And then when you are altering something, it's capture the after state, look like that. And it's gonna capture all of the elements that has view transition name in it, which means by default, there's a root. Yeah, it's a HTML tag, that's the root, the top one. And you can put in a custom one. So you think about it this way. You have two pet, there's a root, we don't care, and there's a box. And it's, comparing, you can kind of see, oh, there's a box, center to the right. I hope that's how it works. I didn't read the code, so. And then, it's gonna create this kind of interesting pseudo tree element where you have, look complicated, but there's two important things, the old and the new. That's it. It's just gonna create the old one representing the old view of the box and the new one representing the box, which means you can use it because it's just a pseudo selector on CSS. You can use it to customize your animation. That's how it looks like. You put in a spin, it's rotating. And I used to say, oh, I want it to spin when there's a new thing coming out. And then see, that's just spinning. Spinning. Yeah. You want to see it in low action? I can put it like in 2 seconds. You can see it very clear. But that is the, default CSS style coming from all of the browser. You look closely enough, there's a root, right? That's over there. And you go down a little bit, you see that there is duration of 0.25 seconds. So by default, everything is 200 milliseconds. Yeah. Okay. So when you think about just now, it's just the same thing on the page. So is it like, why is it linked to SPA and stuff? So look into SPA. SPA is basically just a single page. And when you click into a link, it goes to the next page. And in this, the whole thing, you wanted to put a layout. There's a navigation on the top. And basically all of the thing at the center, like the content, the outlet that you call it in Angular, in React, now it's called outlet. It's just replacing the component. So it doesn't refresh the page, it just takes the new component. It essentially just replacing the DOM, technically to say. So we look into another demo. And this is a demo using React. So I close it first. Just close it. Ooh, close it. So, you see it? Okay, that's the demo using React. There's nothing crazy. There is a link. So shock. That's how Singapore we say. Yes, that's so cool. That's so shock. Pet 1, pet 2, nothing crazy. So the code, let me see. That's a Ruby code. We don't care for now. Yeah, the Ruby code is important for the MPA. So React, and you see that's the cat 1. Yeah, just some div. You don't care. Yeah. Cat 2, just some div. And the important, I think, is lie down in the main.tsx, where you just configure a bunch of routes. Right. When you go to homepage, you want to load the root, which technically just a layout. In the layout, there is some navigation. Okay. Hope it's clear. There's navigation, and there's an outlet. Outlet is where you're replacing the component. That's hopefully it's you done it before. And I have, cat and then playlist. We look into playlist and cat. But actually now when I wanted to enable view transition, it's very deep inside the library itself, like the React Router DOM where I'm using. So it's more like when I click a link, then React Router DOM is gonna, replace the DOM for me. So I need to access to it, but luckily they expose a new API called and just unstable view transition. Yeah. You put it into the link, it is going to try to call the callback under the hood document.start view transition for you. And let me just change it to pet 2. Okay, unstable view transition. Woof, back. Do you see that now? This is fading, right? It's fading now. Again, it's fading. One more, fading. Some is not very pay attention. I do it very slow for you. It's fading, right? Woof. Seem to work. But the interesting thing is like when the new thing is coming out, you already see that the cat is like smiling. Do it again. Because like when the start, the icon is already live. Right? It's not just a screenshot. It is really a live version. That's important to take note. And let's say you want to do, I don't want to do just simple thing, and I want to do some stuff which just like custom SPA cat animation. So I say, when there's a transition, the new pet is sliding up from the bottom. And then the old pet is sliding down from the top. So I just say view transition O and root, and new and root, and putting the slide. And I put some cubic breezer. That's why animation is not linear. And with that, now I click again, try. Oof, very slow. Very slow, very slow. Let's see it in real, right? Yeah, it's faster. But if you look it into the slow motion, you see like, the navigation is also moving. Like, who built this website? How can you ship something like that to prod? I didn't mean anything, yeah. And so we can try to persist enough by just going back to the layout. That's where I put the nav before, right? You can see there's a nav. And basically I just give a name, style and view transition name. Anything, okay, it's like nav. So because now like between the two states, the browser can tell there is a nav, and it just doesn't move. So I will not do anything. So you just set it the name, so the element, if it doesn't move, it will persist there. Right? That's the idea. So again, okay, not too easy to grab. Yeah. So now the nav is staying. As simple as that. Okay, I think is it enough about card? Yeah, card is I think is enough. We see so many card photo. Let's look into playlist. I think let me just remove all of this code for now. Okay, yeah, maybe let's just remove. Okay, let's just remove the CSS. So playlist, what does playlist mean? Yeah, playlist is just the snapshot I just showed you, and I used to build it with PowerPoint, and you can see it's when you go into playlist, that is when this thing is get loaded, right? When the playlist component get loaded with a list of things, and when you go inside one, Oh, it just say loading. I put intentionally 1 second, to show the delay. And I go back, go into another again, just loading, and show the detail. Nothing crazy. And actually there is, there's 3 bar here that's showing that there should be a track below, but on the screen it doesn't show. I change the color later on. So you look into the code. Yeah, it's use playlist. Use playlist is just using use query, React query. Basically, you just say, I wanted to fetch this data and link it to the key. And the next time you call the same thing, I will probably just get it from the cache, for example. And the same for use playlist. So it's the same, I put a different key, and you fetch, And what I'm trying to say, let's just put in the unstable first, see how it looks like, unstable. Go back. Yeah, now it's kind of crossfade. Yeah, I know everyone wanted to see things in slow, so I just go back. Very slow, very slow. So we can apply the same principle. We put it a name and see how it looks like. So on the listing, I intentionally just put an image so that it's easier to show you a code demo. So I just say view transition name, which is cover. Okay, maybe not. By the way, this thing needs to be unique, so I need to put cover and the ID. Playlist ID. And then I go to detail, and I put the same thing. Sorry if I type code too fast. That's just how I do. Sorry. And I go back to playlist. I go in. Woof! Nice, huh? Of course. But okay, it's not that easy. Okay. The reason it works is like, I'll show you how it looks fresh. Like when you go in, it has a momentary of trying to do this loading stuff. So it doesn't have the same image to compare. And in all of the demo that you see online, they just assume you go in, there's data. But it's not how the web application you will look like. You go in, you need to fetch data from somewhere before you can render. So, of course, when I go back again, because it's there, it's cast with the ID, so now it's working. So I just go back, now it's working. But for the new one that doesn't have the cache, it doesn't fetch this yet, it doesn't work. So to solve it, in a React query, where's my friend Daryl below, he used to implement this, use playlist. You can just say, actually, when you are trying to fetch the new playlist, you set the initial data. SPA, is it this one? Initial data. And then you need to bring in cons query client. Is it suggest? Okay. So the whole thing here is trying to do is like, okay, when I try to call the playlist, like try to fetch the playlist, first of all, I try to find if it is on the card first, before I actually making an API code. So as you can think about it now, when you go into a playlist, and if it's there in the list itself, you have the data, you don't have to fetch it again. Or at least you have a simple version of the playlist you wanted to render. And you might want as well just to fetch for the list of songs, for example, below, right? And so, go back. Okay, let's disable this slow thing. Yeah, I have a lot of slides, so now it seems to work. I just refresh, I click inside, it's working. It doesn't have this loading state momentary showing. Again, go back, seems to work. Go in, okay. How many I have? I know, but I start a bit late. Yeah, okay. Anyway, she said okay, so I can spend maybe a few minutes. The slide is long. So yeah, I think that's all about SPA. Okay, persistent loading, then initial data. You all seen it, so we don't have to go through it again. And that's something you need to take away with start view transition name, the old and the new. The new, very important, is live. The old one is just snapshot. It's freezing. And that's how it's supporting. In Firefox. Firefox is the only one that doesn't support it yet.
You finish at the 55. Okay.
And that's finally I have something about Angular to say. Yeah, of course, it's supporting in Angular 17. Awesome. The one I'm using was React Router DOM. It's already supporting. And Okay, I spent 2 minutes about crossbed. They don't look into it. So, crossbed, once again, it only works when you going like same size, same origin, which is like that, right? When you go from example.com to login.example.com, it's considering cross origin. It doesn't work anymore.
Okay.
So, yeah.
It's okay.
Okay. So,
Can you show the most interesting
Yes, yes,
demo? Yeah, for us. Yeah,
Yes.
so we can upgrade our portfolio websites to make it, you know,
so, thanks, Anne. to
make
give-
us looks more expensive on portfolio, so we can get better paid job.
So the important takeaway is like you don't have to document .start view transition to trigger thing anymore, because it's JavaScript, you're gonna be throwing away anyway. So now you just click a link, it is gonna trigger it, but you need to opt in where the two page need to have this rule of CSS present. So yeah, without further ado, I just show the fire hard demo. So that Anne is happy. So now it's Ruby on Rails. Anyone here is doing Ruby? So I'm gonna just, okay, sorry, it's just application. Soon, very soon. So view MPA, view transition. Okay, I put in navigation auto on the CSS. And then on the view, I'll just put in same thing. It just doesn't seem to, sorry. Okay, so now I was a bit freaked out. View MPA listing, and then view MPA detail. What's detail? Image. View MPA detail. And then you go to localhost 3000. Playlist. See, it's work, right? It's literally, it's trying to, you see that spinning, that's very important, that's the spinning. It's trying to go to the server and fetch from the database and render it, and then it's render the page, and it even work when you disable JavaScript, even work. Okay, I will not show this because we're too late, but the last one is, that's a stress test I made. You have a random 100 emoji, and when you click this button, what's gonna happen? Yeah, it just changed. Yes, 100 thing. It's gonna change. But basically, I have the Mark M2, so it seems to be very smooth. But we need to test it on the lower end device and see how it looks like. And with that, Anne is freaked out. So yes, you know, I just do the thank you, and that's the way you have it 10 years ago. I was invented it. And no one do anything. They were just laughing, like, why are you doing this? And now, yeah, of course, now you have it. And because I'm late, so I will skip all of this. That's all of the keywords you need to take note of. And that's a slide. That's a demo. Thank you so much for attending my talk.
Thank you for sharing. If you're interested into translation API, you know who you find later. And scan the QR code there so you can find him on social media as well. Thank you very much for your